Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is Wine Library TV. So, it is a beautiful Tuesday outside, and I am excited about doing this episode. I think this is one that needs a little bit of attention, because let's be honest, we're not all rolling around in Rolls Royces with huge diamonds in our ear and, picking up $500 dinner tabs every night. We need to be price conscious, and we need to find deals, and this may be the single best deal out there as a category. We're talking about Loire Valley at this moment, which, as you guys know, is an area that I prefer, obviously with Sancerre, but we're speaking specifically of the wines of Muscadet. Now, Muscadet is on the western end of Loire Valley, and Muscadets are very interesting, crisp white wines that are really beautiful matches for shellfish. And being a humongous oyster head, I always seek out these wines when, I'm just in the mood for something crisp, clean, almost drinking it like soda pop. And that's what I love about Muscadet. The Muscadet wines are fantastic. Now, I think something that's really is intriguing is that most people think Muscadet is the grape, but Muscadet is not the grape. The grape is Melon de Bourgogne, which is a small grape that's really mainly only planted at this point in the Loire Valley, though there is a little bit of it planted in Oregon, which seems to be just the key word of the wine industry these days. So Melon de Bourgogne, which originates obviously from Burgundy with that kind of name, is the grape behind this real stellar, crisp white wine that I think is really some of the best values in the world. And let's jump immediately headfirst into that. We're going to start with the Chereau Carre Muscadet 2005. This wine is $8 US, $7.99. And let's give it a whirl. Again, what I've always been intrigued about with Muscadet is the fact that the wines are very inexpensive. Even $8 is actually expensive. These were really $5 or $6 just a couple years ago. I think we're being affected a little bit by the euro. But any price correction of that, maybe after the next presidency or whenever the dollar corrects itself, I think you'll see an enormous amount of $6, $7 Muscadets popping back up in the U.S. because they really are tremendous value by the euro in Europe. Really light-colored wines, nothing too crazy, but these are tremendous substitutes and alternatives to, obviously New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs or Pinot Grigios or other crisp whites like that. So let's give this a whirl. And there's that freshness that you always get, almost like a brand new peach was born, like bloop, peach. Actually, peaches come from trees, so maybe I should have, peach. Like a fresh peach is what I always come to mind with these wines, and this is no difference. And also, there's always that sense of walking into Walgreens and going down the aisle where it's got all the nice smelly stuff. Like, it's got such a chemical aspect to it, but that's nice smelly chemical, the one that fixes all the rooms you make mistakes in. So that's got a little bit of a nose on it as well. Let's give it a whirl. Clean expression, very crisp, to the point. I get a little bluestone, a nice mineral aspect to this wine. Fresh sea comes to mind. Clean, fresh lake water comes to mind. It's just that refreshing drink that you're looking for, and very chilled and cold in the summertime months for $8 is a very fair deal. I mean, only 32 quarters gets you this wine, and let's be honest, that is difficult to find in today's wine world, at least of quality and trueness. What we get at $8 today is very artificial type wines, mass production, mass-produced, over-sugarified wines, and it's really nice to see trueness, again, at $8. It's a nice wine. It's not over the top. It's not too complex. There's really not many more flavors besides apple, pear, and melon in this wine. Let's not get too crazy. I'm excited about its trueness, but overall as a wine, this is an 86-point wine. But it brings trueness to the table. I appreciate that. And what I mean by trueness is that it's clean, it's crisp, it is what it's supposed to be. There's not a lot of mad scientists in the winemaking room trying to change this wine and being something it's not. It's not over-oaked or put into oak barrels for 24 months. They're not trying to do anything too crazy. This is good old-fashioned Muscadet. You get what you want. It's almost like, I feel like it's the 1600s and I just got a big bucket of wine, you know, and you just take like a, like a cutout rock or something. I mean, it's true. So I like it. It's a nice wine and it's a good value. Let's move on. This is the Domaine de Cognardiere Muscadet 2005. The Cognardiere is a very small producer, $8. I've had their wines in the past. This is the traditional style, and I've not had this vintage, but I've often seeked out this producer's Muscadet in the fish bars on the West Coast and been happy with efforts in the past, so I'm excited about this. Again, it's not going to do anything to change your life. Nice crisp white color, excuse me. Not much on the nose at all, getting a little bit of apple peel, a little bit of stinkiness on this wine in comparison to the first wine. Has a little bit more of a, kind of like a muddy rock aspect on this, you know, getting some dirt coming through, a little bit of that mineral aspect, which was clean and like bottom of like a beautiful clear lake flavor on the first wine. This is more of a rock that's found itself in some good old-fashioned mud under some pig snout or something. So let's give this a whirl. Once again, the trueness and crispness of a Sancerre for half the price. Very mineral driven as well. Nice zest. Think lemon and lime peel. What you get in like the martini drinks. Rolled up peel, just the core essence of what that is. I mean, it's really like biting into a lemon and lime peel. That's what this wine tastes like. I mean, it's just exactly that component. Can you go out and buy a 2 liter of Sprite and get the same sensation? Probably, but if you're looking to get a little buzz on, I'm just kidding. As a wine, it's very clear and very crisp, and once again, not diluted or over purified. I kind of think of these wines as like the green movement of the wine industry, and they come in green glass. You know, rarely in Muscadet do you find people manipulating the Milon de Bourgogne grape to do anything but what it's supposed to do, and I appreciate that. Again, for $8, you're getting a true wine. 80 dimes gets you a sensational, crisp white wine. I think it's got a little more oomph, a little more character than the first wine. I'm going to go 87 points in this wine, and I think that is a fantastic bargain for $8. Let's move on. This is the Domaine de la Pepiere 2006 Muscadet. And this is a very big producer for us and has been very popular for a long time. This wine is US dollars, so it's expensive for a Muscadet. Let's give it a whirl. You know, this is one of those fun episodes for me because I really do believe that at least 95% of you, really, I'm going to go on a limb here. Let's go 90. 91.6% of you have never had a Muscadet, and if nothing else, the cost of entry to these wines is so insignificant. And I do believe a lot of you are drinking $10 to $15 Pinot Grigio and Sauvignon Blancs that I think you will find this wine superior to those, and I think I can save you a lot of money, and it's half the price, and discovering new things. And again, if you are a fan of oysters, there is just, I mean, Chablis is probably arguably the other grape varietal that I love, but this is tough to beat. 9 bones. Let's give it a whirl. Probably the lightest of the three. You can definitely get through it a little bit more. It's a very clear Muscadet. And definitely the most different of the bunch. Wow. It's got a stinky component. It's almost like the residual smell of a stink bomb that was dropped in 3rd grade, but it's also got a very obvious smell to me, and I'm wondering how many people are going to follow this. It's like the top of a carrot, the green part. You know, it really smells to me like a mix between, like really somebody throwing a stink bomb in a carrot field and then just the tops of the carrots. That's what this smells like. Quite intriguing, actually. It also smells like my brown rice sushi that I buy now. You know, I'm on the cholesterol kick, and when I order sushi, it's always brown rice now, and it actually has that smell component on here as well. So it's quite interesting. The vegetal component continues to clear through here. This wine has an enormous amount of green English peas. If you're an English peas fan, big up. You know I love them. English peas, cauliflower, really, really crisp vegetal aspect, a very green flavor profile, very different than the others. I like this. I like vegetables, so that's it for me. It could be a little too acidic for some people. I think it's not well integrated. I think it's like vegetables and then finish. I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but overall, there is a graininess mixed in with like cucumbers and asparagus and Brussels sprouts. Very vegetal wine. I'm going to score this wine 87 points, but this is the kind of wine I could see a lot of people finding as an 85-point wine because they're just not the biggest fans of vegetables, though Mom never had to push them down my throat. I like it. It's crisp. It's clean. And overall, what really excites me is that you can buy all three of these wines for the price of some of the good Australian or Austrian or French, Alsatian crisp white wines out there that are $30 that are great, and you're gonna have to be real hard pressed to prove to me that some of those are better than 3 bottles of this. So it's a value driven episode. I'm excited about these wines. I'm gonna score this wine 87 points. Once again, I'll be honest with you, none of these made me feel like you have to go scream out and try this. I'm going to say in the theory of, hey, should you buy this? I'll say no. But that being said, this is definitely something worth experiencing because I think these wines are massive values. Question of the day. This was just a curiosity that popped up in my mind. What is the biggest grape varietal wine out there that you've never tried? Have you never had a Merlot, a Pinot, or how about region? Have you never had a Barolo, or have you never had a Super Tuscan, or have you never had a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc? Just curious, where are your shortcomings? Make sure Muscadet isn't one of them after a week or so. Because you, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, aren't we?